Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Plunge Talks podcast. I am your host, Michelle, here with my amazing guest, Jorgie.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm Jorgie.
And how would you like the world to know you, Jorgie?
Well, I'm Jorgie, and I don't even know what to say. I'm just me. I love what I do, and
Yes.
I'm just me. But I'm a barber. I'm 31. I'm Cuban. I've been living here 19 years. I love to travel. I love to experience new things, meet new people,
Yeah.
and this is my first time actually being part of a whole different community that I was before.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about your community.
So right now it's the kava community, or the
Yes.
kratom community, or the kava bars.
Yes. Yeah. So you work across the street at
Yes,
Botima.
at Botima, yes.
Amazing barber. So go see Jorgie, make your appointment. But you and I, that's how I know you, is
Yes.
from Leaves and Roots, a
Yeah.
kava bar next door.
Yeah.
So tell me about your journey with the kava community.
It was, so I saw my coworkers
Mm-hmm.
drinking first, and I was like, what is that? Whatever. So they describe it as weed. Like you get
Yeah.
high, this and that, and I was like, I don't really like smoking weed anymore.
Right.
But then all the people started talking about it, and I'm like, okay, you know what, let me give it a try. And I drank it the first time, and I was cutting hair, and I remember I was like, there was a time that I was like, it was like everything stopped. You know what I mean? And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so freaking relaxed.
Yes.
Sometimes when you're really busy at the, working or at the barbershop or like whatever, you're like, running.
go,
And that would
yeah.
kind of slow everything down. It's like you can have a conversation, you're more chill. I can still able to move, but my mind or my brain is like,
Right. Well, it's not
going
like
100 miles per hour.
drugs, right? Like I
Yes.
feel like kava, kratom gets some sort of reputation like that,
Yes.
where people are like, oh, it's like smoking weed.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's very different, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, it just cuts anxiety, it slows things down, you're fully functional,
Yes.
but it gives you this really nice sense of relaxation.
100%. Yeah. And kava does the same, but it makes me sleepy
Oh,
more
no.
than anything else.
And you do not need that for all the work that you're doing.
I actually need that more because
Really?
I'm a hyper person. I'm always doing stuff,
Right.
and I want to move, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. You told me,
Yeah.
let's go do this. I'm like,
Yeah,
let's
you're
go.
like, done.
Yes.
Done.
So
Yeah.
for me, I need some time for myself to just take everything in, what's going on. Because sometimes we love to just ignore some things that happens in our brain, in our head, and we like to just, do something else.
I don't know if
Avoid
you're
the
like
problem.
me, where exactly
Yeah.
like what I used to do without even realizing it.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot of energy. If you know me, I got a
Yeah.
lot of energy. I'm always moving.
Yes.
We're very similar. But I used to just fill up my schedule.
Yeah.
Every day after work, I'd have some event, some function, tons of projects, classes, you name it.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want to sit with myself. I didn't want to give myself the space to address whatever was going on in my brain.
Yes.
And that worked for a little bit, but then I would completely implode.
Yeah.
I'd be like good for like 2 weeks, and then at the end of it, just implode.
Yeah.
Fall into a deep hole of darkness.
So you would do it for 2 weeks, and then you would stop drinking.
Well, no, not even drinking,
Just like
anything, just like
anything,
in
okay.
life, like just, again, filling my schedule.
Yes.
Having something to do every day, whether that's
Yeah.
plans with friends, different kind of workouts, different kinds of things. Like I would just literally, my Google Calendar was just all colors.
Yeah.
I color code my calendar.
Yes.
It's very important
I
to
love
color code your
that.
calendar, I know. It's all the Capricorn energy. Like my progress chart is entirely in Capricorn,
No
and now
freaking
I
way.
see it. Yeah, so everything.
So you got a lot of Saturn there.
Everything, yes.
Oh,
For better or for
Daddy
worse.
Saturn.
I know, oh my God. Saturn has been squaring my son for the last, year.
Yeah.
And it's just wrecked me.
Oh my
but
God.
I'm coming out of it. I think it's I think by
So
December.
how that does work? Like when it comes back to your son again?
So it's different than like a Saturn return.
Yes.
So a Saturn return happens every 28 to 29 years,
Yes.
which is why people usually when they reach the age of 30 or reach 29, 28, 29, they end up having this big early life
Yes,
crisis.
exactly.
Because Saturn is the planet of of like structure and foundation and values and tradition and what you believe in and sex. Did you say that?
No, lesson.
Oh, and lessons.
No,
I was
not
like,
sex.
oh, I mean, I thought that was like Venus and kind of Mars, but okay, all right, we can get
All
on
of
that.
them are about sex.
Right?
The whole universe.
Yeah, but yeah, so wherever, so Saturn has just been like squaring every planet in my chart. All my planets are in one section of my chart.
Okay.
So it's just been squaring everything in my chart, and then the final piece.
I have to check
is
that
the sun.
out.
Yeah, you
'Cause
gotta look.
I don't know where it is.
It's gnarly. I've essentially been experiencing a Saturn return since my actual Saturn return in 2019. So.
Mine was 2021.
Oof.
And I know, when you, this is the thing, sometimes your spirit just send you signals, send you a message, send you dreams, and you're like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Why I'm getting this? And you talk about it, and you'll be like, if I talk about it, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, it will happen. And you know in your gut, you're like, damn, this is actually something that I'm gonna go through.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, like right now, I'm gonna be like, boom, next year or like the following, whatever is gonna hit me, which I already knew about it, and I was like, damn, I got what I needed in a way. Because at the beginning, it was like, what the fuck, what is happening to me, you know?
Well, and I think that's the key is
Yeah.
knowing so that you can embrace it.
Exactly.
Like I had no idea. I liked astrology, but I'd never like done a deep dive, and nobody had warned me about this, and no one in my life at the time, like I was living in New York.
About Saturn.
No, about Saturn, about any big kind of life themes that happen in astrology. I had no idea. So it wasn't until like the tail end of it that someone told me what was happening, and it all made so much sense because everything that I had built my life on, every job, every relationship, everything that I had been creating, which was not mine to begin with, was ripped out from under me. And instead of knowing and kind of having this understanding of how energies work, how astrology works, and just being like, okay, this is what's happening, maybe the universe is trying to take this away from me for a reason because it's not in my best interest.
Exactly.
I held on for dear life. I white knuckled the whole way through, and it was just horrible. It was just horrible. So if you're approaching your 28th birthday, please Google search Saturn
28,
return,
29.
and even if you think astrology is bullshit, just like read about it and just embrace it. Embrace it.
It's a good way to learn about things that happen, I mean, to you, and looking at it in a whole different perspective.
Right.
And just be open-minded. You know, this happened, you know what, it's the universe sending me signals that I needed to quit this job, I needed to break up with my ex, or like whatever it is, you know what I mean? So yeah, take everything very positive in a good way.
It contextualizes it in a way that you can use it to learn from it. It's a tool. Right, it's not a sentence. It's not like a death sentence. It's not like we're warning you because like, oh, this is bad.
Unless they do something really bad and then again.
Right, exactly. It's another tool.
Yeah.
There's so many great tools. But yeah.
Okay.
I love astrology.
I love it too.
Oh my God, it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
And I've been telling everybody about it, especially the ones turning 28, 29.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I know.
They're like, I have no idea. They're like, okay, I'm gonna look into it now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you say lesson or like it's gonna hit you, they're like, oh shit, I have to look into this now.
Right.
You know?
It gets people kind of interested. They're curious about it. So that's something that I love about the kava community is that I feel like almost everybody I meet is super open-minded and wants to have these conversations. You know, even if it doesn't make sense or they don't know, you know, like I'll go in there and I'll bring my tarot cards and people will be like, oh, what are those? Oh, you know, and it's cool to be in an environment where everyone kind of does something different. It's a whole like hodgepodge of humans.
Yes.
The whole community is just a weird hodgepodge of humans. I'm a part of it, you're a part of it, we're just a whole bunch of weirdos together in a space where we get to share.
I mean, we call it that, right? The kava community?
Yeah. I mean, it is a community.
Even though I don't drink kava that much. I drink more grotto, but, you know. But I love it because I feel like it was calling me for a very long time.
Yeah.
To like be part of some, you know, find my tribe in a way, you know? Because I was just doing things because I felt like it was the right thing to do.
Or like you should do it.
Yeah, or I should do it because now I'm like hanging out with these people, or like I'm talking to these people, like whatever, you know? But I was like, the moment that I walked in, I was like, I love this. You know, they have video games.
Yeah.
You know, they have the pool table. Everybody's like
Yeah.
super friendly.
Super friendly.
You know,
Well, and I feel like
open-minded.
we as humans, we're constantly craving community.
Yes.
Talk about this a lot, I feel like, just in my everyday life, because that was one of the reasons why I built this place.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Is to give people a community to come and hang out and have these conversations, have deeper conversations. You know, it's different than when I used to go like work at a coffee shop and, you know, everyone's on their Zoom calls for their corporate jobs and, you know, it's very kind of like normal society, I guess.
Yeah.
But then you go in there and you hear people talk about, you know, astrology or plant medicine or their own life experience. There's a lot of people in recovery that go to kava bars that I love, especially having worked in recovery as a therapist, like to see people and to get an understanding of their lived experience is so cool.
And the journey.
And the
of
journey,
everything.
right. Well, what about your journey? What's your journey been? I want to know more
My
about
journey,
you.
oh my God, I'm still in the process.
Yeah.
But I love how I'm being able to understand more of myself, the bad and the good, be self-aware, not only to myself, like things that I'm aware of myself, but other people. Because I can see it. You know, when you just focus on you, you kind of see the same thing in other people.
Oh, 100%. We
You
are
know?
all mirrors to each other.
Exactly, the mirror effect. And I've been very noticing a lot of things that other people do, and I'm like, it's okay. I know how you feel, but it's gonna be fine. You know.
Right.
It's part of life. It's
It
part
gives
of
you
the
more
journey.
compassion.
Exactly.
Because you know their experience, or you can kind of guess, at least take an educated guess, and like that's when you stop taking things so personally, right? Like if someone has an attitude at you, and like where I used to be before I started doing any self-work, if someone had an attitude at me, I'd be like, well, go fuck yourself, you know? But now if they have an attitude at me, I know it has nothing to do with me.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And you
That is
kind
a
of,
journey, though.
Jesus
Especially living in
Christ, that's a
Florida.
journey. Yeah.
Fucking Florida.
Oh my God, I know. Well, how long have you lived here?
19 years.
Okay.
And 1 year in New Hampshire.
Okay. I didn't know you lived in New Hampshire.
For a whole year, because my ex of 5 years, I met him here. He's from over there.
Got it.
1 year, after like a year or something, we were talking about moving. That was actually my idea, because I wanted to get out of Florida.
Yeah.
You know, in my parents' house and all that. And I was like, I want to travel. I want to see all the states.
Well,
you know?
and New Hampshire's so different than
It's
here.
so, but I loved it. I am so open-minded.
Yeah.
I don't mind where I'm at as long as I'm happy.
Yes.
And I can do things that
Do the
I'm
things you
passionate
love.
about, you know?
Yeah.
So over there I did have a lot of fun and I met a lot of people, you know? But it was just, you know, the relationship that ended up really bad later on and I came back. Yeah.
How's the dating journey been for you? Let's talk about it. We're talking about exes, might as well.
The
My
dating
favorite
journey.
topic.
Really? We were just
Can you
talking
not
about
guess?
Venus
I know,
the other
right?
day.
Well,
Oh my
Venus
God.
is now direct.
What,
so it's
what
no
is
longer,
direct again?
So it's not in retro. So Venus was in retrograde.
Oh, okay. So it's
Right,
going
exactly.
normal.
So
Okay.
now the energy is back in forward motion, in full force, which is great for new relationships or even outside of relationships, just the things that you love, right? Venus is about the things that we identify with, that we love, values, stuff like that, and which mostly translates to relationships.
Yes.
But you know, in the better sense of the word, right, it's the things that we care about this space, or you know, my favorite workout outfit or whatever. You know, that's all very
Exactly. Yeah,
reflected
yeah.
in Venus energy. You know,
Where's your Venus?
Capricorn.
Again? Another Capricorn?
No, I am
Oh
so
my God.
saturated in Capricorn.
Yes.
I think I have like 5 or 6 planets in
So
Capricorn.
you're like
it's
a
insane.
stallion. Just like
Yeah, I'm a stellium, yeah. Where's your stellium?
Aquarius. Aquarius stallion.
Ah, of course. Your Venus is in Aquarius too?
Yes.
Yeah. I love my
Very
Venus in
open-minded,
Aquarius
very.
people, but I gotta tell you, y'all are hoes.
Well,
I mean,
yes, we can be. We
I'm
can
just
be.
saying,
I
I'm
have
just
my,
saying.
my journey
Yeah.
with the hoeing, but it's right
me
now
about it.
it's on standby.
Standby.
And I'm not like standby like I'm gonna hoe again. I feel like I'm taking sex a little more, you know, different now, respectful, you
Right.
know, of myself and other people.
focusing more on maybe like the intimacy piece.
Yes,
right?
the more
connection
deep connections.
piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I always did like that better. You know, I mean,
Well, there's more depth to it. Like, it's one thing to just go out. I mean, it's not hard. It's South Florida. It's not hard to go out and get laid.
Exactly.
It's not hard at all.
It's like everywhere you go.
Right. It's let's go. You know, it's not hard.
Especially in the gay community.
Right.
You know?
Oh my gosh,
it's
that's
like,
a whole nother level.
You don't even have, you just, hey, let's go.
Right.
You know?
Or Grinder.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love looking at my gay friends' Grinders.
Oh my god.
I mean,
you wouldn't love mine. But I don't have it anymore.
Oh, you deleted it?
Yeah, I deleted it.
Wow, so you are serious about this.
I am serious.
This new wave.
I feel like it was taking time for me, you know? Sex is fun and beautiful, but when you focus on it every day,
when it's like your goal of the day.
Your goal of the day, like, oh my God, I just talked to this guy, I don't want,
It consumes
it becomes, it becomes very toxic. And a lot of times you don't even have fun because you're too worried about like, nutting or whatever, you know what I mean?
Just get
and then
it
fuck
done,
it, get it done. I slept with you, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
I just think about like, this is what I'm supposed to do because right now it's like our society, it's like, oh, sex all the fucking time. There's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like I'm not, where I'm at right now in life is not, it's not that.
Well, and this is something that I love to talk about, and if you've been in my proximity for any extended-ish period of time, at some point, I'll ask you about your self-pleasure practices because, right?
Oh
so
my God.
I
can definitely talk about this.
You don't need to share, but so I love. So I did some
way.
studying with Tantra last year, last summer, last fall. Really did a deep dive. Worked with Michelle Alva in Miami. She's amazing, and really kind of learned because sex is such a big part of society. Everything is sexualized.
Yes.
Sex is such a big part of our lives. We are sexual beings. And then to understand how energy works in that sense,
exactly.
right? So our sexual energy is our creative energy. It is literally our God energy.
Exactly.
Souls get brought into this world because of sexual energy.
Exactly.
And so when you learn how powerful it can be, and you learn how you can harness it in really spectacular ways, it changes the game of how you might even want to experience sex.
100%.
And I feel like a lot of the conversations I have with people around, especially self-pleasure practices, because that's something you can deal with immediately, right? You're not worrying about a partner. You don't have to find someone on the street. This is your practice. And so many people, again, and even when they're having sex with a partner, it's how fast can I get off, right?
Yeah.
How hot the person is, how fast can I get off, and is there cuddling after, or can I just go home?
Yeah.
It's a very transactional situation.
Yeah.
Same thing with self-pleasuring. Some people do it. I mean, I know I used to do it just to feel good. Like when I was in my really dark places, before I moved down here, when I was struggling with my job, my life, whatever, like I would just be like, you know what? Give me a hit of dopamine, and that was my focus, was getting off. Now it's using that sexual energy, like feeling it in your body, feeling your breath, really kind of understanding that building of, that charging of your energy, and self-pleasuring or pleasure in general, right, is not necessarily sex. It's not necessarily P and V or P and B or, or head or oral or whatever. Like it's pleasure, right? And you can take like a flower or a feather or just do it yourself, just touch yourself, right? This can be sexual, this is pleasurable. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be this like deep, raw
and
thing.
rough,
Right. It gets to be something that can be beautiful and sensual and kind. And I feel like if we as a society kind of reframed our understanding of sex and pleasure, stop shaming it. Yes. Right? Because most of the time if I'm asking someone about their self-pleasure practices, they kind of get embarrassed. I get to see the face turn red and they're like, oh,
I feel
whatever.
like, it happens a lot. Especially with gays. There's a lot of, well, not a lot of gays, but there's specific gays that never have bottomed before, and I'm like, why, because they're afraid or they don't like to pleasure themselves. They're like, oh, the person to do it for them. Yeah. Which I'm like, well, how are they gonna know what you like when you don't even know what you like? You don't even know where to get to. It's not that. Not everybody's built the same. Okay, so you're gonna
No.
stick a finger at me and be like, oh yeah, I'm coming.
Right.
No. There's ways, you know what I mean? Different people, like the mind,
Yep.
the body, you
Yep.
know, like fantasy. There's a lot of things that
Yes.
play around, you know?
You get
when
to
it comes
play.
to that. Yes, you
Sex
get to play.
gets to be playful. It's not this
Yeah.
serious thing or this whatever. And I feel like too, a conversation I also have a lot with people is that, especially with women,
Yes.
that, you know, if they're with a new partner, oh, he hasn't made me orgasm. He can't make me orgasm. No boy has ever made me orgasm.
Yeah.
Okay, can you make yourself orgasm? Do you know
Exactly.
how? Okay, great, you know how. Did you tell your partner? Did you
Yes.
ask him? Did you direct him? Did you, and like, I'm not talking like that, like, I'm being very Capricorn right now. I'm not talking like, burp, 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 but I'm just saying, like, if,
Like
like
a mace.
have you had that conversation? Like, your orgasm is your own responsibility.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
And if you're not communicating with your partner what feels good, what doesn't feel good, and if you've not even experienced it with yourself, how do you expect to have a wonderful sex life?
Exactly.
A full, fulfilling sex life if you can't even do it to yourself?
100%. The first time that I lost my backdoor virginity,
Yes.
I didn't come because it was more painful than anything else, and
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I guess I'm supposed to do,
Right.
because you know that's
'Cause
what
that's the
everybody's doing.
expectation,
That's the
everyone's doing
expectation.
it,
But
yeah.
then I'm like, you know what? No, I want to get myself a toy and
Yeah.
see where I'm at, like
Right.
where I'm at, you know, with myself. So that's exactly what I did, and I started doing it how I want, and I don't need a fucking 12-inch.
No,
You know,
Jesus.
or
One of
anything
those
like that.
big, yeah.
You
No,
know what I
no,
mean?
That's horrifying.
And I just pleasure myself.
Yeah.
To the point that I know where it is, I know what I want, and I know what I
Yes.
like. Because it's another thing, visuals is very important for a lot of people like myself.
Yes.
So I like to obviously visualize a lot of things,
Yeah.
or see something that I really, really
Yeah.
like
Well,
in
and
somebody.
especially with anal play, a lot of people are really afraid of it.
Yes.
Men, straight men, are really afraid of it, and men don't realize that their G spot
Yeah,
is located
it's right
back
there.
there. It's
Yeah.
right there. And a lot of men get really insecure, and they're like, "Well, I don't want anybody touching that or whatever."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like, but why not? We are gifted with this playground
Exactly.
of sensation. If it was not supposed to be touched or played with or used in the way that
Yeah.
you're capable of using it, then why is it even there in the first place?
Exactly.
Why are all those nerve endings there in the first place?
I know, right?
You know? But people are so afraid
Before you
of,
die, please try it once.
Right. In the words of Jorgie, before you die, men,
Try it.
please play with your butt. Do it.
Oh
And
my
then they have a better understanding
Yeah.
of what it is to receive it, so that like if you're with your partner,
Yes.
whether you're a gay man or you have a girlfriend that you're trying to do anal play with, you'll be nicer.
Yes.
You'll be gentle. Requires a lot of
Yes.
gentle touch.
I think we are so, especially men,
Yes.
we just, once we're in the act,
Yes.
we just like
oh my God, everything goes
animals,
out the window.
you know, like I don't give a
Animals.
fuck. And I feel like it's kind of hard for like a moment, but not all the time, because you're gonna get bored and you'll be like, what the fuck? I'm just being used right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it happens. I know because I've done it, and obviously I know that I don't like that to do to me like so much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everything balanced. You know what I mean?
Everything in balance.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like I feel like people kind of get into like their group, their thing. This is what they like. This is what gets them off. This is the thing that they go for. So every time they have sex, doesn't matter what kind of partner, they're just doing the same thing.
Yes.
And that's fine because you know that's going to get you to orgasm. Cool.
Yeah.
But we also get to explore. Our bodies are a playground.
Exactly.
An amazing
Take your time to
playground.
explore your partner.
Take your
time to
time.
explore yourself.
Yes.
Oh my God. So I went to a journey with shrooms,
Okay.
and I did it twice already. With the first time, I was out, I did the shrooms, I'm hanging out, you know. There was a time that I felt very sleepy already, because you know shrooms, when you do it at night, it gets you really sleepy.
yeah, you wanna
So
go
I was like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go home. Oh my God, I had the best dream of my life.
Yes.
It was me having sex with myself.
Whoa.
But not penetration at all.
Right.
It wasn't like No, it was like
just-
kissing, biting. You know those pictures that I have on my
Ooh,
Instagram?
yes.
I was just all of them mixed
Yes,
together.
just-
and I was
that
like,
is hot,
that is
Jorgie. Oh my
fucking
God.
hot. And I never actually experienced that before, you know?
Yes.
Like having dreams with myself. You know, you have dreams with other people.
Oh my God, all the time.
This
Yeah.
and that, you know? But it was the first time myself.
That's amazing.
The second time that I did, I was at the beach. And I was eating, I forgot, it was cherries.
Okay.
And as I'm eating the cherries, and you feel everything sensation in your mouth, and I was just picturing myself again. Because I'm going back to that dream.
Amazing.
And I was like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, why I'm so like obsessed with myself right now?
Sexual
Yes.
energy and just eating those cherries, but that's amazing. Imagine if
Yeah.
everyone was that like attracted to themselves.
Yes.
And could harness that energy without having to think about Jason Momoa or
Yeah.
you know, right?
Yes.
That's so cool.
It is hard. It's like, damn, like I want to spend more time with myself and see, you know?
Well, I was gonna say, did that change kind of how you now experience partners or kind of what you're searching for?
Well, in a way,
In that
no, I'm
sense.
not. I think it's more like self-love and self-care. Just like take care of yourself more.
Take care of
Love
yourself.
yourself more.
Love
Do
on
some work,
yourself
you know? I
more.
feel like
Yeah.
it's too soon. My last relationship, it lasted 2.5 years.
Oh wow.
And we broke up 2022,
Okay.
like the beginning of it, like January.
Yeah.
So it's still fresh.
still new.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm
Yeah.
like taking my time from the relationship and just
Yeah.
focus on me. There's people that come and by, you know, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. People come by all the freaking time.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Like you're
it's
not
just
missing
life.
out. If
Yeah.
someone is meant to be in your life,
Exactly.
you're not
that
missing
way.
out. I think that's something that I'm also proud of myself that after my last breakup, which was last summer, so it's been over a year, that I really, really went inward. Really went inward and spent that time with myself. Like I know a lot of people, you know, what do they say? The best way to get over someone is get
Yeah.
under someone else.
Yeah.
And that has its merit, but
It don't last that long.
But it doesn't last that long, and then you're left just feeling
Yeah.
sad again. You're not process those emotions, and then you know it opens the door for other things to come up that you might not be in the space to handle at that time.
Yep.
And so to take that time, like I can't even remember the last time I had sex. I think it was a year ago. I think it was last fall. And am I missing it? Like, yeah,
Yes.
like totally. But also in the moments in the last year, like I was so focused on myself and growing and processing and really being in a space where if I'm dating, there's no rush. I used to be in a space where if I was dating or hooking up with someone or whatever, like for me there was a rush. Like I had to see them or I had to hear from them or I needed that validation from them.
Yes.
That validation constantly.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and now I haven't had a chance to test it yet, but I feel like I'm in a place where it doesn't matter, you know, because I still have myself.
Yeah.
And I still love myself. And the freedom that comes with feeling like that is so beautiful.
100%.
You know, and then like one of my friends was making fun of me the other day because we were talking about sex and I was like, you know, I can't remember, and he was like, oh my God, like how are you alive? Like, are you
Yes.
okay?
I know, that's everyone.
And I'm like, right. Everyone's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, you know what? Again, my self-pleasure practice is so strong.
Yeah.
And it's a practice, it's a ritual, it's a ceremony that I know that a drunken one night stand is just a useless waste of time.
100%.
And until I can find a partner that will play with me the way that I want to play, and it's play, it's fun, it's magic, it's magnetism, it's all these great things, like, I'm okay. I don't need it, you know?
But I don't think we need a relationship just for that, because I'm okay like having someone that I can connect with and on that level.
Yes.
You know, with more things that I can be like, hey, you know, whenever we're free, you know, we can hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the intimacy piece and the
Yes.
connection piece, right? But in order to have that intimacy, you need to feel safe with
Yes.
someone, or at least I do. I'll speak
yeah.
for myself. And I do find that it's harder for me to really find that safety
Yes.
in others. And now, again, I haven't really tried lately. I've kind of been in this like no boys till 2024 thing. I made that declaration.
The year of the
like,
dragon.
oh my God. Ooh, that makes sense. No boys till 2024. But I don't know. I feel like now maybe I could find the right people that I could connect with, have that intimacy with, have that trust and safety with, but then not need like love and relationship and all that stuff. Like I'm tapping into my Venus Aquarius. Instead of my Venus Capricorn, which is like, I need this, I need that, it needs to look like this. Yeah.
And you know, now that you said that, I'm like, well, we're in a community where a lot of us are celibate, you know, and we're taking care more of our soul and our spirit more than our bodies, you know.
100%.
In the sex aspect of it. And that's what I like about the community, because I never met so many people that were celibate, and I was like, I always wanted to do it, even though I kind of did in a way, but not this long.
Well, like there's a difference between like being unintentionally celibate.
Yes, exactly. This is like I'm
actually like I'm making this decision.
Yeah, I'm making this decision. Yeah. I'm not even watching porn. Yeah. I'm not even jerking off. Like serving my energy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just worrying about something else. I don't know. Yeah. Go hike. Go do something.
Get outside.
Get outside.
Do something
I don't know.
Yourself.
Deal with my problems, because that's another thing. Deal with my problems, because I feel like this journey has made me look back at the dark, you know, and like my parents and, you know, my childhood and everything. Little by little, I'm like unfolding more things, and I'm very happy about it, you know. But the sex is one of them. I was not really good, you know, at some point in my life, and I was like, I need to stop and just focus on whatever I need to. Like right now, my job, like what's the next step for me, you know? Loving myself more. Yeah. You know, taking more time for myself, you know, not wasting so much, because there's another thing, porn. I'm just speaking for myself, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. When you watch a lot of porn, you're creating all this image in your head. You know, it gets recorded, especially when you're young. You're like 12,
oh my God,
all the way to like 20.
It gets tattooed in your brain.
So you automatically just start thinking about porn and sex every freaking time of the fucking day. You know, and it's like, sex, this is, talking to a guy and I'm already thinking about like, you know, hooking up with him. What it's gonna
look like later.
And I'm like, well, that's, you know, I want to have fun. Right. But not in that way. You know, like I don't have to have porn in my head every fucking 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
It's consuming.
It's consuming. So I did stuff for a little while, and then I got back again, but because I was single and I was like, okay, let me do this. But then now I'm like, I don't even fucking need it anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really need to do that. Exactly, it's Jorgie time. So yeah, it helped me a lot. I have more energy. Yeah. And definitely when you don't come, you can definitely do a lot better at the gym.
Well, especially for men.
Especially
right?
For men.
Like every time you come, every time you're released, you're releasing your life force energy.
Yeah, it's a life force.
And though in the moment you'll feel good, maybe you'll get a good sleep after, whatever, like if we're talking on the level of energy, you're releasing that life force creator energy. And one thing that's interesting that I learned about in my Tantra journey is that there is a way for men to orgasm without ejaculating. I don't know what the secret sauce is, and I don't have a wiener, so I can't practice it. But I'm told that there is a way, and you do it through like meditation and all this other stuff, like while you're in a sexual experience, where you can actually self-pleasure.
I feel like I did that when I had that dream.
Yeah.
Because I woke up like so happy. Yeah. I even told my roommate, I woke up and I was like, I had the best dream.
Oh my God,
He's like, what happened? I was like, I'm fucking myself.
Yes, yes.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he did shrooms. But his journey is very different. I feel like you have to do it for a while and get to know yourself more so you can get to that level. I feel like that's what happened with me, you know, but it was great. It was freaking great.
That's amazing.
And I love shrooms.
They're fantastic medicine.
I know.
They're really, but really, it is a medicine.
Yeah.
It's a medicine, and like going back to talking about porn, one thing that I noticed in my earlier years is that, and like, there's nothing wrong with porn. I've watched porn, it's fine, it's not my go-to, but if I'm with a partner and it makes it hot, I'm down. Yeah. But I feel like porn has taught men very challenging ways to have sex. Like, porn is usually from the perspective of the man,
Yes.
right? And usually it's them like going really hard and really fast and just kind of, and the girls are very theatric,
Yeah.
which makes great TV, right? Like you need that level of drama, but I feel like it also imprints into both men and women, gay or straight, that sex needs to look like this. That the girl needs to be like going fucking wild, and that the guy needs to be a jackhammer. And like, I'm sorry, that's not it.
And the fantasy of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to this guy, and then all of a sudden he's gonna whip his dick out. And put it on.
The hot UPS guy is gonna come to my door, and the next thing you know, I'm gonna be bent over the kitchen
like
sink.
I said, it records in your brain, and then all you can think about is that, you
Yep.
know. And I'm like, no, I don't want to over-sexualize people.
No.
I don't know. I don't need to do that. You know.
Well, like you said, it wastes energy.
Yeah,
it
and
wastes your brain
energy.
space. Because again, that's your creative energy. So if your creative energy is all being funneled to that, then you don't necessarily have the reserves to use it for actual life creation.
Yeah.
Right?
And focus on something else.
And focus on something else. And I think that people, you know, are less in tune with energy than we should be. Energy is everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, even when people walk into like the space or something, oh, the energy here, yes, and within ourselves. And if you're putting all your focus on one thing, getting laid or whatever, getting off or whatever, that's going to take away from other opportunities, other creative forces, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
it's not, you know, it's not like it's bad,
no,
but
it's
don't make it like seem like that's the only thing you can do the whole entire day. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm getting off right now and then later. And like, because it happens.
Let me hit up this guy, let me hit up this girl.
Yeah,
like,
especially when, you know, like you look good and you post pictures and people are hitting you up and you know, you really be like, oh, I really need all of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, have you seen Jorgie's Instagram, which I will link below in the show notes?
Actually, I deleted it.
You deleted your Instagram?
Because
you are so hot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's restricted right now.
Okay.
So I can always put it back.
Okay.
But I deleted it because, you know, my pictures, I do it for me.
Yes.
Because I like the artistic side that I have.
He had some amazing, hot, smoking hot pictures on his Instagram.
But it's like tasteful to me. It's like the
well,
fantasy.
it's like boudoir.
Yeah.
Which is very tasteful. It's sensual. It's exotic.
That's the word. Yes. So for me, I always like that. You know, I always like to be myself.
Yeah.
You know, and see myself like
in your greatest expression.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, femme and mask and like
Yes.
in between, like whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's how I am. So I put it, you know, in my pictures, and I like it, and I love the attention, obviously, because what we have an Instagram for.
Right.
You know,
It's
we
for
love the attention.
Of
you
course.
know? But it gets to the attention from things that I'm right now not focusing on. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let me just take a break right now. You know, I don't want to keep entertaining people that I don't really need to.
Well, that's the thing that's hard. About a year ago, I feel like I did a boudoir photo shoot with my ex before we broke up, and it was one of my favorite. And like, I didn't have my hair done or my makeup. He was just like, "Hey, you want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I got a cute like bra to put on.
Yeah.
And there's some of my favorite pictures of myself. And so last year, I put a couple of them on my Instagram just because I was so proud. And I was like, this is so, and it's sexual, but so tasteful and classic and whatever. They're still up if you want to check them out. But the problem with that is that it seemed to give an invitation to men to immediately sexualize me and make kind of comments or send DMs or something that was like, oh, so Michelle put these pictures of herself in a bralette that are sexy. Okay, now I can fuck her.
Yes.
Right? Now I have that open window. Okay, now I'm gonna ask her for more pictures.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, first of all, I don't know who you are. Second of all, where is it that we can't be sexy and in our expression and be proud of ourselves and share it without it being completely like pornographized for everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not an invitation for that. Maybe some people do it that way. That's why OnlyFans is a great, you know, outlet for a lot of people. But I wish that our culture viewed sex and sexuality in a way that we could be sexy without the invitation of like boundary pushing comments, that expectation of, oh, well, you know, you're at the bar, oh, well, she's dressed like that, so she wants it.
Yeah.
No, she's dressed like that because she's feeling herself.
Exactly.
She put that picture up because she's feeling herself, you know?
And I think we forget that there's a thing called self-love.
Self-love.
And when you love yourself, you'll be like,
Yes.
I look hot as fuck right now. I want to go out like
Yes.
this. Like right now with my hair, I did my hair. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the interview with my hair.
Yes,
But it was for me. It wasn't
yes.
like, oh yeah, I wanna. No, I do it
No.
for myself.
Yes.
I dress however I want and I post whatever I want.
Yes.
Now, yes, I entertain other people that I did it. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But I don't want to keep doing it. You know what I mean? And I don't want to keep seeing as this person that, because at the end of
Then
the
you're
day,
objectified.
yes. So my ex and all the guys that I ever talked to, when they see me online, it's completely very different.
Yeah.
Like they met me online and they see me in person, they'll be like, I thought you were gonna be very different than
Oh, wow.
the person that you are.
Like in
The
what
post-
ways?
One, I am myself, like you see how I am, you know. But
Which is fabulous.
in my social media, I get that intimidating kind of like guy. So they
Yeah.
get very intimidated by me at 1st, or they think I can be like a bitch sometimes because I
Yeah.
have this, I have a
Because you're
great
hot
body
and
and
a
like
lot of-
whatever. I'm
yeah.
gonna be like a bitch to them, and I'm like, no, I'm actually really sweet. That's a side of me. That doesn't mean that I'm complete that. I'm
Right.
different layers of myself. So I'm not just, somebody that has a fucking thong on all the fucking time.
Right, yeah,
you
you're
know?
not walking around in the tiny little
Yes.
string.
Yeah,
and
like, but yeah, I liked to be me and to have people expecting something that they're not gonna expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like when you meet me, you're actually gonna know who I really am.
Right.
You know. And even when you meet me, now you're not gonna get to know me 100% because different layers.
Yeah.
But you at least get to know a little piece of me,
Yeah.
and not so much of my social media. So my ex and all the guys that I ever talked to or dated, yes, that was like a thing for them because they were like, wow, you are very different.
Yeah.
But that's what they liked. And that's what they
liked
pursued me
having
later on. Yeah, because I was like, okay, you know what? He's like this here, but with me, he's like I'm like that with everybody. But I'm letting you know.
But they thought it was special for them, or
In a way, they're like,
Yeah.
okay, like I get who you are now. Like you just like this stuff, like whatever. This is like your art.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, this is my art. It's still part of me, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Oh,
Because
100%.
if I do it, it's part of me.
It's you, yeah.
But it's not me completely,
Right.
But to them, after they get to know me, that's when they want something serious. Because at first, they just want to fuck.
yeah.
And
They
later on,
see
they
you
be
as
like,
this hot
actually,
little plaything, and then they're like, oh
Exactly.
wait, he's actually awesome.
yes.
He's an amazing human.
And
then they fall in love.
that takes
I
some
mean,
time.
yeah, it's okay.
So yeah.
I know. Well, and I think that's another thing that I struggle with social media, right? Is everyone has this persona on social media, and like,
With your booty shorts.
yeah, I mean, I'm 33, and my whole life, I've been really into fitness. I
Yes.
really
Me
I
too,
care about
yeah.
looking good, and it's funny. Like every year, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna look this good for my whole life, whatever. But then every year, I look better. But I really care about myself, and I love myself, and I work so hard to look like this.
Exactly, yeah.
I work so hard to stay in shape, and if I want to show it off, I show it off.
100%. Yeah.
But then it's hard too to get that balance, and I feel like my Instagram right now is all just videos of me without makeup on, just talking about whatever I feel like talking about.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because I'm seeing it from the other side where I'm like, do people think that I just like don't wear makeup and don't shower and like live
Yeah.
on the beach? And, it's just like it's so
Sleep
funny.
on the beach.
I sleep on the beach,
Yeah.
in a tent, right? But it's like
Do you
that
even have a
social
home?
media persona.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and people just see that they expect
Right.
something that they're not gonna get, and
Yep.
it's like no, you have to get to know somebody.
Right.
Social media is it's a way of posting and showing one side of us, but it's not everything, know. And a lot of us, or just act on things that we don't actually do.
Oh, 100%.
We pretend
We pretend.
to be happy. And
Yeah,
to
like,
be,
look at me, ha, ha, ha,
yeah,
life
I'm
is
doing
great.
this. It's-
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. Okay.
Right.
And I
It's
can
okay
see
to not
through
be
it,
okay.
Because it's like it takes one to know one. So there you
Right.
have it.
Well, especially once you've been through it
Yes.
and you've seen the darkness and you've lived in that cave and you're like, ugh, once you're out of it, you can see someone, you can smell their bullshit from a mile away.
100%.
How are you? Oh, life is great. I'm having so much fun. It's like, oh, you're dying inside, aren't you?
Yeah. 100%, yeah. And then when you talk about it, and they're like, no, I'm okay.
Right.
You thought about this before, you know, like different people, I'll be like, there's something going on with you, and I can tell, but the conversation that I have with you, you already had it in your head.
Right.
We all have conversations with ourselves all the
Yes.
freaking time.
All the time.
So I'm 100% sure that you already did. You're
Right.
just pretending
Right.
to not.
And
you
people
know,
are afraid
and
of
ignoring.
showing weakness.
Yes.
People are afraid of going through shit.
Yeah.
They're so afraid of letting other people know they're not okay. Well, and I think the flip side of that is I do see people like intentionally not being okay just to get attention and stuff,
Oh, yes.
which makes me insane.
Yeah.
You know, and I see people posting videos on TikTok and they're like crying, whatever. Okay, cool. Like cry. Crying is a great release. I live for it. But I think it just comes down to authentic expression. The more that we can be authentic in our daily lives and on social media and in the bedroom, I'm going to bring it back to sex because I love talking about it. But the more that we can be authentic to ourselves in every space that we're in, the better our lives are going to be, the better that people around us are going to be.
Yes.
Right? It becomes this really contagious experience where when you see someone who is in their truest self,
100%,
you also
yes.
receive that invitation to be in your truest self, and then it just builds,
You get
and then
inspired.
we get to build each other up.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like meeting you. Like I remember the first time. I don't know if you remember.
I don't know. Probably not.
Well, there was. They were playing something on TV.
Okay.
It was like a tournament, slap.
Oh, was it the slap
The
fight?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I love it. I would love to go
back.
back.
That there is an entire league for slap fighting, and they do slap fighting tournaments. If you have nothing to do and you want to be entertained,
Oh, it's the best.
like look it up on Google or YouTube. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was when we first met.
That was when I actually kind of like, we kind of vibed
When you fell in
together in a
love
way.
with me?
Yes. And then there was one day that I wasn't feeling that well, and Shane was working. I told him that what was going on, and he was like, "Talk to Michelle."
Aww.
And I went to you, and I was
Yeah.
like talking to you about what happened with me in my relationship.
Yeah.
And seeing you, this is the thing. I love when people listen, and I can tell when somebody's a great listener.
Yeah.
Because, sorry, but that's not a lot of people in this lifetime.
Those people aren't because they're like too busy. They're like, yeah, okay, and they're
or
on their
like you
phones.
can go back to a conversation that would not remember anything, and you're like, I should spend an hour talking to you.
Right.
What the fuck?
Right. Like,
You
did
know?
that not mean anything?
Yeah. So
Poured my soul out.
So with me, I was like, wow, she's actually listening to me, and she's looking into my eyes. And then I feel like you felt whatever was going on with me, and I almost cried. I don't know if you remember.
Did we cry together? I feel like I was like
but
feeling
you
it.
kind of
Yeah.
you told me like that you want to help me, and like I need to do more breath work.
Yes, yes.
So that I was like, oh my God, I love this place. I love the kava community.
Yes.
You know, I get to meet all these people that can help me with so many things. You know, and I can help them, and we can build
We
and
all
talk
get
about
to build
it. Yes.
together. We all get to create a community where everybody is safe.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what you talk about. And I do know, because I've been going to Leaves now for a while. When I was in grad school, that's where I would do my homework and stuff. And just because it was a super chill place to just do work, meet cool people, hang out, whatever. And some of the conversations that we've had there, ranging from, existential life crisis to trauma we've experienced to slap fighting to and everything in between. But it's like there's so many times where I'm like, man, I wish I recorded this conversation. This would be great for a podcast or something, because it's just so cool and magical to have so many different perspectives and so many different lived experiences, and to be open and safe to have a conversation.
Yes, and you mix
know?
astrology, numerology, you mix everything
all the divinity
together,
tools.
and it's like a great way. I just love to. I'm like super like into anything that is not facts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not the book. It's
right. It's not necessarily science. You're not gonna learn it from a textbook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you know what? That's my Pisces. You know.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me see what else is in the universe. You know, what else is there? And I love it, you know, even though I don't spend hours on it, but
Right.
when I do, I feel really good about myself.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting to know myself and other people also, because I like to do my research and help everybody out and like different things and be
Yeah.
open-minded about it. Doesn't mean that because you say it, it's going to happen, but
Right.
just think about it, be open-minded, you
Right.
know? And I love anything that involves not facts.
I love that. I love it.
Fantasy world.
Facts are boring. Yeah, you're such a freaking Pisces. But that's so true though, and it's like once you are able to really kind of embrace that there are tools out there for us that are not from a textbook, that aren't necessarily from this dimension, that aren't black and white, then even if you don't believe it or whatever, like it just expands our consciousness. It expands our understanding of the world and who we are.
Exactly.
And then you start to sort of see the synchronicities or the patterns, or you know what, like you're able to really kind of contextualize your life through these tools and be like, okay, and it gives you this greater sense of purpose.
Exactly.
You know, my existential crisis when I was in like 2019 was like, I don't know if like thwarted is a good word, but was helped because I started to work with a teacher who worked with numerology.
Wow.
And I was so lost and I had no idea. And numerology is a really, you know, straightforward like structure. But that was like the catalyst that opened my eyes to, okay, maybe there is something bigger than myself. Maybe there is something more to this journey. Maybe I do have a deeper purpose.
Yes.
And that was so cool.
We already experienced kind of like growing up, you know, living with our parents, going to school, going to work, you know, you're like, okay, well, what else is there? What else is there to experience? What
Like
else
I
is
can't
there to
just work
learn
9 to
about?
5 the rest of my life and then die.
You know?
Like,
Yeah, so that helped me also read more and educate myself more about different things.
Yeah.
You know, especially the world. And I grew up in Cuba, La Habana. La Habana. The capital.
Yeah.
So, and my grandma, she's in La Religión, Santeria. Do you know what Santeria is?
Love it,
Santeria.
yes.
So I always been around spirituality.
You got it,
Yes.
yeah.
So growing up, obviously I always knew, and I always felt a lot of energy, and I was always like, there's more than just whatever is in here in Earth right now. You know what I mean?
Well, and
like
growing up with
more.
Santeria as a practice is so cool.
Yes.
That's so cool.
I would say it's beautiful, but people use it for evils,
dark,
the darkness,
dark magic,
and it's okay, you know. It's up to you what you want to do. Just remember that what you throw to the universe is gonna come back to you.
That's right.
So just know that. But yeah, growing up, I always been around it, but that was the only one that I know. You know, Catholic and Christian. When I came to the United States, I did my community hours in a Christian church. I loved that. It was really fun for me. But they were a bit strict of what they wanted from me. And I was like, I'm only 16, 17. Like, I don't know. I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? The same thing with my grandma. Like, she used to read me her cards. And
were they like tarot cards or oracle cards?
No,
or?
it's, I have to show you.
Yeah.
It's Cuban, it has the, I think you can still find it here, but it's like the spades.
Okay.
The
like a suit of cards, like a deck of cards type stuff,
and then
but
they have the
Cuban style.
I think it's Roman.
Okay.
I think it's Roman, and it has like a coin, the gold coin.
Okay.
I don't know if
I've never seen it.
No, okay, I have to show you
Yeah.
a picture. So so read the cards or like the seashell, because you also do that.
Oh wow.
Yes, and on top of that, when I came here, she would only communicate to me through phone, right? So she used to call me when she felt like something was gonna happen.
Ooh.
So to me, I was like, I love that I know, but then I don't want to know because my anxiety is gonna go up, and then I'm gonna think about this. And a lot of the times it did happen. My grandma is very connected.
Wow.
Yeah, we're in La Santeria. So whatever she would call me and be like, don't do this, don't do that, or it's going to happen.
You'd be like, yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that's 2 times it happened. The third time I was like, don't tell me anymore.
Wow.
I'm gonna get my life in check. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But don't tell me about it because sometimes I don't want to know.
Did it like stress you out?
It
Would
did
mess with
stress
your
me
head?
out a little
Yeah.
bit, yes. And I was like, you know what? Learn from it, take it, and
Yes.
that's how you
It's a
know like
lesson.
it's not what you think. You
Right.
know, stop thinking that you need to always stress yourself with things and this and that, and like do crazy stuff. I forgot what I was going with this. I forgot.
I don't know where you were going, but one thing that, I know that like sometimes I'll play games with my friends and be like, okay, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? And a lot of people say, oh, to read minds or see the future or something like that. And part of my journey, a big part of my journey is knowing how good it is to not know what's next.
Yes.
And really embracing that. Like, I don't want to know. If it's a lesson, I trust that the universe is only going to send me things that I can handle, period. And even when it's really hard, like the last 4 years of my life have been really hard, even when it's really hard, I know that I can handle it. And so to not know, and like, again, like using astrology, having some understanding of, okay, what's coming next or what themes, what overall themes to look out for is helpful, right? That way you can brace yourself, or that way you can, do a little extra work to be prepared. But also, if I knew I was going to open up a place like this, like before I actually had the download, I would have probably like stressed about it forever and freaked out and would have like somehow jumped off the fear diving board into a different pool. Like it would have just been a hot mess, Or like with my relationship, if I knew that it was going to end when it did, then I wouldn't have been able to enjoy the relationship. And it's like there's ignorance is bliss in so many ways. And just embracing that and trusting that is a superpower.
Sometimes it's better not to know.
Yeah.
Let everything happen. It happens for a reason. The universe is gonna send you whatever you need or whatever you're asking for. And
what you need, not what you want. AKA not Jason Momoa. That's fine. I'll be okay this time.
Bitch, I'm here.
That's right. You're the only Jason Momoa I need. With that hair,
Thank
cute.
you.
Yeah.
It took me an hour to do
Oh my
this.
God.
So I know how girls feel. I love this is the thing. I love doing it to other people.
Yeah.
But when I do it to me, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Right.
I love self-love and self-care.
Yes.
Love doing my beer and everything, but it does take a while.
It takes forever. I mean, that's why you see
especially
my
on
hair
yourself,
up 90%
you're more of
of
a
the time.
perfectionist, so you're trying to make everything so perfect. But yeah, but I love it though.
I love it. Well, I love you, Jorgie, and I appreciate you on this podcast today.
Thank you.
I'm not going to be able to share this one with my mom. I'm going to.
Okay. So this is the only one.
This is the one so far that I'm not going to be able to share with my mom. So I like to thank you for that. This is perfect.
No, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Any final thoughts or words?
And talking here. I never done a podcast before, and thank you because now I can definitely work on creating my own.
Yes.
Because I wanted to.
Only if I could be a guest.
Yes, of course. And I wanted to do it in the barbershop because I have great. This is the thing. Another thing is working. Makeup artist, anything that has to do. What is it called?
Like stylist.
No,
hair, I don't know.
Sales,
but working in that industry.
Working in the industry. I'm like trying to look for words. Working in the industry, it doesn't matter what it is. You get to know people in a whole different level.
Yes.
And you get different lives, different backgrounds, different way of thinking. You can give great advice to people that need it.
Yes.
And no matter what, I love when they tell me like, oh my God, I love you because I feel so safe around you.
Isn't that the
and
best
I'm like,
compliment
thank
ever?
you. It is, to me, it has been like the best compliment for myself. When I don't know you and we're building like a friendship, like whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, I feel very safe. I can talk to you. I can express myself. I can be myself around you. I love that. And so a lot of my clients, they feel that way.
That's
and
amazing.
we have great conversations, And even the ones that Let me not even start.
That'll be a whole nother episode.
Because I feel like you have to, you can think negative about someone that you don't even know yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes
It's
time.
hard. It's hard because
And some
sometimes
people
it's
have-
fun to be a judgy bitch.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
some people have shells, you know, and it's harder to break it, you know, and through time.
And you understand that a lot of the times those shells are because of trauma.
Yeah, exactly. Trauma,
Yeah.
problems,
It's
issues,
deep.
X.
It goes much deeper than we can even see
Yeah,
on the surface.
and you're the only one that can, you know, break them down because
Chisel,
nobody
little bit
else
at a
will do it
time.
for you.
Yep.
You know, I know for me, open up and talking about my past experiences was like tough,
Yeah.
especially growing up the way that I was.
Yeah.
And, you know, being to myself. You know what I mean? Like your emotions and also being a man.
Totally.
It's like you can't talk about your feelings or who cares? Blah
Right.
blah blah.
Tough it out. Man up.
And I'm like, oh my God, like I feel like a new person. And it's not like I want to talk about everything,
Yeah.
but it's like I love when I can share about myself and I feel so good.
Yes.
You know, and like knowing about my human design and
Yes.
being a manifester, I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be communicating,
Yes.
you know? And it's like completely different for you know, for what I was taught to do, you know? So yeah.
Amazing.
Yes, I cannot wait because I actually want to do my podcast. Yes. And start like
can't wait.
interviewing or talking to people while cutting the hair, you know,
Yeah.
because a lot of men have
The
a lot of
barbershop
things to talk about.
podcast, Yes.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, stay
It'll be
tuned for
really
that.
fun. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Georgie.
Thank
I love
you.
you so much.
I love you too. Come here. Thank you.
Thank you.